Good morning. My name is Charles. I'm a dog trainer. I specialize in behavior modification, and there's a topic that I wanted to discuss because it's been coming up lately with my clients, and it's pack theory. And there are two places where pack theory is formed. One is family, and the other is dogs or wolves that are forced to live together. So when pack theory first kind of came to the scene with dog training, what we had was a close case study of different wolves that are not genetically related, a bunch of males, one female, and they basically started fighting for breeding rights. That is only one sliver of what a male dog is, right? So after they figure out the breeding rights, well, then that wolf has a family, and that's really where the pack comes from. So in the wild, you don't get like a bunch of like random wolves like teaming up to work together. It's really breeding pairs. And if you imagine, so let's just say a 10-month-old wolf male, wolf female, right? They have puppies. In 2 years, you're gonna have possibly 6 adult wolves, right? And we're still including mom and dad. They have puppies again. In 2 more years, you could quite possibly have 8 to 12 adult wolves, right? It just keeps growing and growing and growing like that. So you can see in 10 years, you could very easily have a very large, strong pack. And then this whole pack is gonna think the same. So like I said, just the reproduction, that's one sliver of a male dog's life and a female dog's life and a male or female wolf's life. That's one side of pack theory. The other side is family. And this is where the alpha traits come from, because when we say the word alpha, we're trying to say this dog's angry, aggressive, or just like pushy, right? That's what we're trying to say. This dog's like trying to boss other dogs around. Once again, that's one sliver. You got to put all this stuff together to truly get an alpha, because really alpha's mom and dad, and mom and dad just doesn't do one thing, right? Like mom and dad just doesn't reproduce. They hunt, they bring the food home, they make sure that the pups are okay, they find dens for them. So basically, when you have a 3-year-old wolf or dog, it is the equivalent of a 20-year-old male or female human. So that 3-year-old wolf can reproduce, have kids, provide a shelter for those kids, find food for those kids, defend those kids, take the life of another animal for those kids. I'm saying kids intentionally, right? Because I'm trying to show you the parallels with humans. And it raise those kids and then even see their grandkids. Like you see, it's a whole structure. So if you just stop at breeding rights, like you miss everything, because there's so much more that comes after breeding. So, and then if those puppies don't listen, like they leave. Like if they don't want to be in the pack, like they leave, right? So that's the full spectrum of like pack mentality. So the same thing for dogs. Let's say I adopt a boxer, and I adopt a Shar-Pei, and then I adopt a German Shepherd. So that is a pack that I put together, and there's no genetic chemistry. It's chemistry as far as time is concerned, meaning if I allow these dogs to rub off on each other for 3 years, they're gonna be tight. So when one leaves, they'll have separation anxiety, the two that remain, right? But that's not as intense as 3 Shar-Peis from the same litter, or 3 German Shepherds from the same litter, because the German Shepherds or the Shar-Peis or the Bulldogs or the Akitas or whatever from the same litter are actually going to have a more fiery nature, because they're going to grow up competing, which is going to strengthen predatory and fight-minded behavior. It's going to strengthen dominance. So what happens is a lot of times we have families that want to adopt a brother and sister, or 2 brothers or 2 sisters or whatever. And when they hit like 2 years old, they're either trying to kill each other, or they team up to go and attack another dog, or team up to go attack another animal, or another person for that matter. And the reason why is because the full spectrum of pack mentality, it's the family structure. So where these guys have chemistry because of time, these guys have chemistry because of blood, meaning their reflexes are from the same gene pool, their instincts, their eyes, the way their eyes see, like literally how much depth perception a certain breed has. Like we have sight hounds for a reason. How much ability to hear, right? We have dogs with certain abilities to hear that are over others. We have dogs with certain abilities to smell, like bloodhounds, that are over others. So all the senses, the genetics, the muscle, the size, the stamina, all of that is almost identical. So two German Shepherds going for the same target is harder to stop at 2 years old than two random dogs going for, and random I mean like two different dogs going for the same target at 2 years old. So I just want to give you guys a full spectrum of pack understanding and pack concept and theory, because one aspect is you put adopted wolves or dogs together and you're forming a pack. The other aspect is they are blood related, which is a whole lot more to deal with. So I just wanted to encourage you guys, if any of you have brother and sister, you want to make sure that you're training more intensely, and you want to make sure that you're separating them so they think individually, because a true family pack thinks more like a beehive, right? So if dad, who is the alpha, and that's where you get alphas from, dad, who is the alpha, if he chases an outside wolf, the kids chase the outside wolf. So that's dad plus 5 of his kids and the mom, and then 4 of the grandkids. Like, you see how that becomes like a pursuit of a whole pack, is because dad is very influential. So when he moves, their chemistry is triggered, meaning their adrenaline levels, their testosterone levels, their cortisol levels, all those things, once again, their reflexes, all this compulsive behavior is triggered when they see dad go and do it. It's way more influential. Excuse me. It's way more influential when mom or dad does it than someone that they are joined with by the human hand. So I just want to let you guys know that true alphas are parents, and it's a full spectrum of what pack theory really is. So about an hour later, I end up recording this video of two brothers that got surrendered, which this is something that happens often where I work. These two brothers, they got surrendered. They were fighting very often, and the one on the right was trying to dominate the one on the left. But because they're siblings, they have very, very similar behavior genetically, right? They're blood related, and that causes a lot of competition. And that's why I made this video, is because the average person doesn't see things like this, but where I work, we see it all the time. And you can kind of tell that they're even competing right here for attention. And the one on the left who gets attacked, sometimes the one who gets attacked is the one that's basically annoying the other one. And you can kind of watch how you see the one on the right, who's the attacker in this scenario, he's drinking water. The one on the left, he pushes him out the way. And that's the point that I was making. Siblings compete more often than two adopted pack members. So you have to watch out for that. It's definitely more significant, and the behavior is more hive-minded than anything. You can see they're like back to back, and you're definitely going to have to train these dogs differently than two individual dogs that you're forming a pack with, because they're related. The behavior is a lot more compulsive. So yeah, you guys let me know what you think.